Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and if you don't notice, yep, last night upgraded my background. Yeah. Since I decided to do this today as my background to show you all that new background I finally got yesterday. Yeah. Those two posters behind me, the Stranger Things and Star Wars one, are new, but the Real Steel, the Saw one, and the little Iron Man picture I have over there are not, and the Hollywood sign I have on top are actually what I've had for a long time. So, yeah, now I decided to upgrade my background and I'll get more to get some more subscribers with this. But anyway, on to episode 24 of my Halloween horror movie review series. And episode 24 is, of course, for the third and final film in the original Evil Dead series, Army of Darkness. Now, this movie is not really a horror film per se, but it's got some horror elements in it, but it's swapped to the more comedy fantasy genre. The first two were horror movies. This one, Evil Dead 3, but it's not Evil Dead in the title. It's a different title, but it is still a sequel. It's called Army of Darkness, and is now a more straight up comedy spoof, for kind of. What's this movie about? Well, ever since the events of Evil Dead 2 at the very cliffhanger ending, where Ash got traveled back into time to the medieval times, he is now forced to lead a makeshift Dark Ages army against the demonic Deadites who possess all deadly magic of hell. The shotgun toting chainsaw armed, reluctant 20th century time traveler Ash Williams must save the living from the dead, rescue his mutant girlfriend, and get back to his own time. Now, I would personally call this my second favorite movie in the series. Because I just love how this movie amps up all the comedy, and it's totally works so well, and it's so funny throughout the film. It's even funnier than Evil Dead 2 and the first Evil Dead movie. And here's why it rocks so much. One, it's got some amazing acting and excellent cinematography. It's an incredible comedy. It's a different type of comedy, but still great. It's more along the line of slapstick comedy, but still does well to make Ash suffer like longtime viewers would expect, especially if you watch Sam Raimi's cut of the movie. I'll get to Sam Raimi's cut in a little bit, but especially like one scene where these miniature versions of Ash Williams all magically show up, and he's in this house trying to find that book and find the right, I think, ingredients for the spell, but these miniature versions of Ash all start torturing him, like slapstick styled. And it's just probably the funniest scene in the movie, but pretty much any of the part of this movie is funny, like, especially with the Ash clone comes in and starts acting all goofy and stuff, and the great soundtrack, fantastic characters, all of them are actually fantastic, not just Ash Williams, every single one. They're all interesting to serve to make the comedy even better, even funnier than Evil Dead 2. Some action times, and the film actually has two cuts. And this was due to because director Sam Raimi and producer Robert Tepper had way too many differences on opinion regarding how it wanted to end. Director Ash Williams wanted to once again end with Ash getting screwed over, since it was kind of tradition for him. But Robert Tepper wanted it, since it was the third installment of the trilogy, to have a more triumphant conclusion, because since, they changed the tone, it wasn't really a horror movie anymore. It was now more slapstick comedy set in the medieval times. Yeah. The bad qualities, yeah. It's a little short, but at times, it kind of feels a little way too short. I feel like I kind of wish it were a little longer, since it was kind of the big finish to the original series, but it is what it is, I guess, so, yeah. And oh yeah, and another thing too. While the film is great, it turned a lot of people off due to straying away from the horror insanity made the first two films so popular, which I can kind of agree on. I kind of wish it still had a few horror elements in it, because it's a third installment of a horror franchise, so there are still some kind of horror elements in it, but are not really like scary horror elements in a way. It's actually much more tame on gore compared to the first two movies. Like, the first one's extremely gory, but still funny at times, and the second one is still gory, but less so than the first one. This one practically hardly has much gore, really. It could really be. If it were released today, it would probably be more of a PG-13, really. But it would still be epic. And the fourth movie, which is the reboot, is probably the goriest one. I mean, like, no, really. If you haven't seen the remake, you'll be surprised with how much gore they actually used in it. But all in all, guys, despite all the problems and another problem is that it didn't really do well at the box office and kind of killed any chances of the franchise continuing. But if you watch the one with the happy ending, it would kind of make sense because the happy ending was a pretty good end to the original series, in a way. But however, it wasn't the end to the Evil Dead series because eventually, around 2015, we got Ash vs. Evil Dead, and it was actually a pretty good. And it was a pretty good series, but unfortunately, they recently canceled it. We never really got another season of it. I think we only got like 2 or 3, but that was about it. Like, they should have continued that series to make it end on a more triumphant note, but to be fair, Bruce Campbell kind of is said he's kind of done with the character of Ash Williams, so I guess that would also make sense, but all in all, guys, I absolutely love Army of Darkness. It's my second favorite Evil Dead movie of all time. It's definitely also one of my favorite third movie installments of all time, and if you've loved the first two, I definitely would check this one out. But if you want a happy ending for this film, watch the original version with the happy ending. But all in all, depends on what cut you prefer, and here's how I would rank it.
I am going to give Army of Darkness a 9 out of 10.
Well, guys, and that's it for my Army of Darkness review. And now I've successfully reviewed all 3 of the original Evil Dead movies, so I was glad to do that. But before I announce what the next episode is, I have an announcement to make. Since I got quite a few, now have over 43 subscribers, I decided to continue reviewing older films. And I'll still review some horror movie occasionally. Because since you guys really love my horror movie reviews, I might actually continue reviewing some horror films occasionally, so yeah. Just because this Halloween horror movie review series is going to end doesn't mean doesn't mean I'm going to stop reviewing horror movies. I mean, they won't be like Halloween themed ones, they'll just be normal like movie reviews, but all in all, I'm still going to keep reviewing some horror movies. I'm still going to be reviewing older movies that have recently come out, and yeah, this month I'll have my review for Bill and Ted Face the Music. I decided to finally post my review of it and stuff, but all in all, guys, I'm going to continue reviewing films, and I'm going to continue to stay on YouTube. So, now to announce what's going to be the final episode tomorrow, or nighttime, depending on your area, if it's already Halloween in your area. It's going to be, of course, I've saved the best for last, Trick or Treat. It's going to be Halloween Day's review, and it's going to be the season finale of this year's Halloween horror movie review series. But until then, guys, that'll be it for this video. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.